Hi, it's Phil. Welcome to another video. In this video, I'm just going to go through a couple of little things that I've implemented in the game Cybenet. So one of the things you can see there, I've changed the title of the page. Normally says index HTML. So I'll show you how I've done that. Also this loading progress bar. I'll show you how I've done that. And also the technique I've used for saving the progress. So when you've completed a level, it knows to make that available on the level selection screen. So I'll show you how I've done that as well. So first, if we just look how I've changed the title, it's just using a bit of JavaScript code there. It's just basically document.title, and then in your quotes put whatever you want, and that'll change the window title in the browser. So the key bit there is that you use these squiggly brackets, and then anything within there is JavaScript. So that's how I've done that. Now the progress bar, what I've done, let's find here we go. So I've got a procedure here that takes in a couple of parameters. So I've got position and total, and I've also got a procedure called load assets. So this is where all the audio files are loaded. So because these files vary in sizes, some of them are, for the level music. So between 4 and I think one of them's about 8 megabytes. So depending on the internet speed, these files can take a bit of time to download. So in this update load progress, all that's doing is basically putting a couple of images on screen, and from the position and the total, it calculates how many images to put on screen that represent the progress indicator. So you can see there's 2 images here that it's using. If we just have a look at those. So it's 1537. So you've got these 2 images, 1537, 1538. If we just open that. So that's the basic image, and you've got a transparency in the center there. So the second image is just a much smaller, oops. See that, you can hardly see that, but it's just, I think it's 1 pixel wide. And basically all I'm doing is putting these on screen, how much of the bar I want to fill up. I just put these on screen at the right location. So they're actually going underneath this one. So I put this one on screen first, and then put this over the top of that, so it looks like it's getting filled up from behind. So if I show you that, if I put, it's going to be quite hard to show in here, but you can see how that goes, and it fills underneath. So in my code, I'm basically putting many of these side by side to fill up this bar, and that's what this is doing. So you can see the 1537 paste bob, that's the main progress bar, the empty one, and that goes on top of this for next loop that's put in a number of these 1538s side by side up to whatever value t has here. and I know this is the calculation that does that. So I'm first working out what the percentage is between the position that I want to show and the total. And then once I've got that, I then know that to fill the progress bar, it takes 360, so it'd be 360 pixels wide. And I'm just using that percentage to work out how many of the single pixel images to put on screen. So that's a procedure that basically takes them two parameters, and then that basically controls how much of the progress bar to show. So in my load assets, I basically got two variables right at the start. So the total is the number of files that I'm going to load, and then position is just an incremental that tells me that I basically increment every time I've loaded a new file. And you can see that for each file, straight after that I increase the position, and then I call the procedure that'll draw the actual progress bar on screen. And you can see that every time I load a file, I'm just calling that same procedure. So as that gets right down to the bottom, by the time I get to the end of here, the position and total would actually be the same, and that would cause this for next loop to be 360, and that would fill it. So that's how I've done it. It would be nice to have some sort of when a load asset takes place, to have a callback of some sort, but that's not available yet. Maybe that's going to come in the future. So this is a bit of a workaround to get this to work. So hopefully you can see how I've done that. And if later on I want to add another file, what I'll do in here, I'll just increase that to 62. Then I'll add a pair of these instructions. So I'll increase the pos variable, and then the new file would be loaded like that. So obviously this 2 is the actual file number that's in the audio folder. So that's a progress bar indicator. So in terms of the level progression, now I'm saving that. Again, I'm using a little bit of JavaScript, and I'm using the application storage in the browser. So if we have a look at so whenever you complete a level, let's find the procedure that does that. I think it's do level complete. So I've got a piece of code here that's updating the local storage. So window.local storage, again, you can see this is JavaScript. And you've got a couple of methods on the local storage. You can set an item. You can also retrieve an item using the get item method. And so to get to your AOZ variables, you just use this.vars, and then that is basically the variable name that you've used within your basic code. So all this is doing is basically, when this procedure's called do level complete, when you've completed a level, it looks at whatever level you've completed, and then what it'll do, it'll write a value in local storage called L2, and it'll set that value to 1. And it'll do that for each level. So eventually, once you've completed all the levels, you'll have these 6 items stored in the browser local storage with a value of 1. And if we look at the level selection screen, where I'm reading those values. Again, bit of JavaScript. So first I just check if the value is actually there. So that's what this is doing. So the if just basically says if that doesn't exist, or sorry, if that does exist, then it will set the AOZ variable, which is declared here. So it'll set the L2, and it's using the get item there. So it just grabs that out, and after this is run, L2 would be set to 1 if you've completed level 2. And then I can set up the screen basically using these variables. So that's how I've got them being retrieved from local storage. And if I show you to see where they're actually being stored, if you're in your browser in Chrome and you press F12 and you go to the Applications tab, if you look under here, Storage, you've got Local Storage, and click on there, that's the actual website address. If this was online, you'd see the full address there. You can see there that I've got, these are the values that I'm writing into local storage, and you can see L2 there, it's got a 1 on it, so I've unlocked that. L3, L4, and that's why these are showing as unlocked. So I'm just basically based off that variable value showing a different image in here, and also enabling the click, which is just a mouse zone. So just to show you that, if I remove those, you can just go in here and remove them. If I take all those out, you can see now it's just read them back in, because they're not there, it's shown them as disabled. So they're the two things I wanted to show you. Hopefully you can obviously pause this if you want to have a look at, if you want to grab that code. But that's an easy way just to store some simple items in the browser.